Well, let's get more on what's happening in that sector. We're joined by Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Oil, Anike Lekpobere. Honorable Minister, thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much, and good evening to Nigerians.
You mentioned that one of the foremost achievements in the past year is the significant increase in production, and that Nigeria remains the leading oil and gas producer in Africa. I thought Libya overtook us some months ago. Which power did you use to change it back?
Well, thank you very much. You recall that when this administration, took over on May 29th, 2023, and I was subsequently appointed as Minister of State, Petroleum Resources, Oil, and assumed office. We were producing on the average about 1 million barrels a day. But right now we're doing on the average 1.5 to 1.7 million barrels per day, inclusive of condensate. So we are efficiently, funding our budget as contained in the 2024, Appropriation Act. The important thing to note here is that from time to time, all over the world, even the facilities you have in your house, from time to time, you shut down for maintenance. And so the reason why that happened was because we had leakages in some of our facilities. And we also, shut down some of our facilities for routine maintenance. Right now, the last report I got before I came here today was that we're doing about 1.5, plus, barrels per day, inclusive of condensate. And the reason why that happened is because there was a leak that was found in one of the Shell facilities, and so it was shut down. ITO also shut down some of its facilities for routine maintenance. And the reason why that is done is to avoid environmental pollution, and it's something that is consistent with global industry practices. And so categorically we can say to Nigerians that between the time this government came into office and now, we have increased production by 500,000 barrels. We are not where we want to be, but we're certainly going towards where we want to be. I want a situation where by the end of the year we'll be doing about 2.5 million barrels per day.
Yeah, you said we are not where
inclusive of condensate.
We are not where we want to be, yes. Clearly, and that is also partly due to the issue of oil theft. How badly has this particular thing cheated Nigeria from benefiting from these scarce resources?
Yeah, one of the reasons why we are doing 1.5 on the average to 1.7 is because the issue of oil theft has been dealt with substantially, and this is the work of both security agencies and then the civilian security, all working together to see how they can reduce the issue of oil theft to the barest minimum. Stakeholders also across the Niger Delta have also been, cooperating, with security agencies and with the Minister of Petroleum Resources to ensure that we have peace, and they also provide intelligence that's required to enable us, combat the issue of oil theft. There's nowhere where criminality will be completely eliminated. We're still battling with it, but we have reduced it to the barest minimum. And that's one of the reasons why you are also seeing the increase in production. And our target is that we will increase production. When I became Minister of Petroleum, Minister of State Petroleum, the President had a meeting with me and he told me that, look, your sole mandate is increase production. If we increase production, that means more revenue available to government at all tiers of government to enable government finance its critical infrastructure. And so today, I think that Nigerians, should expect that we are not where we want to be, but certainly we've done, a fairly good job. And the reason why, we have achieved what we achieved is because of the clear directives given to the President, and the President has given us all the support that's needed in this sector,
Let us consider some of the, recent issues. You were summoned by the House of Reps last month during the thick of the fuel scarcity. What happened, and what are we doing to ensure it doesn't happen again?
Yeah, thank you very much. You will recall that it's been a perennial problem in this country. Every festive period, you see fuel scarcity. But I want you, to do your investigation. As at December last year, there was no fuel scarcity in this country. It didn't happen by accident. It was based on deliberate, plan and hard work on the part of stakeholders, from the ministry to NNPC, to NMDPRA, to IPMAN, to DAPMAN, to all stakeholders in industry, working together to ensure that, we don't experience fuel scarcity. With particular reference to, this fuel scarcity you're talking about, I happened about a month ago or thereabout. It has nothing to do with, the non-availability of products in the country. It has to do with some logistic support, that we didn't get from some quarters. From the report I have available, with me, it suggested that they had a problem getting water vessels. They had a problem getting vessels to transport, refined products from water vessel to the depots. And based on that, there was, some kind of logistic problem, and that was why we had that scarcity. And from time to time, you may see queues, in some filling stations. But please, Nigerians should know that there's no fuel scarcity. The reason why you see that is because in the NNPC filling stations, the price is lower. And because the sector is completely deregulated, now some Nigerians will prefer to buy it at a lower price. Maybe the price sold at the NNPC filling station could be between 50 to 80 naira. And so some people prefer to go and queue, in the NNPC control filling stations to buy at a lower price. That doesn't mean there's fuel scarcity. So when, the House of Reps invited us, we took time to explain to them, to say, look, we have products in the country. The problem we had was logistical. And we have addressed it, and in a few days' time, the fuel queues, were no more.
What were IPMAN members saying at the time, that we're going to stop supplying petrol if federal government doesn't pay outstanding bridging claims to the tune of 200 billion?
Yeah, this issue, has been one of the issues that I've been, dealing with, since I became minister. This money ought not to be provided by federal government. It's supposed to be money collected by NMDPRA from, depot owners, and then pay to transporters to be able to bridge the gap between the cost of transportation to areas that are, pretty far from the point of evacuation. And so what we did the last time was to bring the parties together to do reconciliation. And I'm still waiting for that reconciliation to happen. Once it happens, it's not something that is expected by federal government to pay. It's money that's collected by one government agency. Unless they collect, they can also not pay to IPMAN members. And they understand this point. It's not as if government is owing them, no. A government agency by law is to collect this money from the tank farm owners and then pay to them. So what NNDPR said was that those who were supposed to pay, they haven't paid them. Those who were supposed to pay, they were also saying that, there are reconciliations to be made. So what I did was to bring them together to say, look, do the reconciliation so that we can pay them. So it's not government that is owing them. And I think that reconciliation is going on. Once it is done, they're going to be paid the money. But the point needs to be made that it's not government that's owing them. It's an industry practice where I collect from the depot owners and then I pay to the transporters. Unless the depot owners pay, there will be no money available to pay to the transporters. So what we do as government is to bring the parties together to ensure that we do reconciliation so that they will be paid their money. And that is on course.
Honorable Minister, one significant development in the oil and gas sector in the 1 year of President Tinubu's administration is the signing of an executive order to unlock about $10 billion fresh investment in the oil and gas sector. And according to the President, this executive order streamlines contracting processes, procedures and timelines from 36 months to 6 months.
Yes.
Is this being implemented now, and how has this also caused a turnaround in that sector to unbundle the bottlenecks that has maybe hindered the development in that area?
Well, thank you very much. I want to assure you that, following the executive orders, the investment that we're expecting to announce in this country will be much more than the $10 billion. Before the president even signed the executive order, we've been briefing the president regularly, but we believe that it will make, more meaning if the president puts into executive order. But before then, stakeholders have been brought together, wherein they have agreed to say, look, we need to shorten the contractor circle, which the president eventually, put into executive order. But the reason why investment wasn't coming into the country was very simple. People had no confidence in Nigeria to invest anymore, and two reasons were basically responsible. First was the PIA took longer than ever to be passed, and based on that, there was no stable governance structure. There was no law people could rely on. Secondly, there were policy inconsistencies. It is still happening today, but we are, resolving those issues. Where today you wake up, there's one policy, tomorrow you wake up, there's another policy. Some of them not even emanating from the petroleum sector. We're still dealing with it. But following, the emergence of the president as president of Nigeria, the world is beginning to regain confidence. The world is beginning to, have more confidence in Nigeria, and investors are coming. Just this week, I had a meeting with, I don't want to mention the name. I have a meeting with, a group of investors who are going to invest about $10 billion. I also had some of the service, companies that had left this country to come back. The global CEO of Schlumberger was in Nigeria within last week. He paid a courtesy call, and we're assuring them that, look, Nigeria is ready to do business. Our investment climate is now seen as very favorable, and this you can find out, by going on a voyage of discovery. Go to the IOCs, go to the independent players and ask them, what is their confidence in the oil and gas industry? They will tell you that the confidence is very positive. It is back. And that is the reason why, not just that the company is going to invest $10 billion, there's another company that will invest $5 billion, another company will invest $1.6 billion. My target by the end of the year is to ensure that we have investment in excess of $20 billion. So when people talk about, the announcement in Angola, I told them Angola is small, don't worry. We will very soon be announcing big, investment.
I like your optimism. Nigerians are counting on it as well, to say come to fruition.
Yes, I'm holding me responsible.
Yes, definitely. We'll do that. Is there an update now as to when the refinery in Port Harcourt, Warri, and Kaduna will come on stream?
Well, it's first of all, let's put this matter, in proper perspective. This refinery's rehabilitation program was started by the previous administration. The contracts for the rehabilitation were awarded by the previous administration. We only came to meet it. President Tinubu came to meet it. I came to meet it, when this government came into office. And it's important that, the questions are asked. It's important that Nigerians also get the right answers instead of speculating any further. I know that when I came, the reports available at my disposal suggested that by December, the refinery, particularly the one in Port Harcourt, phase 1, will be in operation. As at December, we announced the mechanical completion. But we haven't started producing, refined products. But what I'm saying is that it will be imperative, for us, to get perhaps the NNPC to speak more on this matter. It will be better. But since they are the people who awarded the contract, since they are the people running the contract, although they report to me, but it's important that Nigerians know the truth. It is important that we invite the NNPC team.
Are there plans to maybe get more refineries, construct more refineries? What's in the offing in terms of refining petroleum products locally? We know of the Dangote, but are there other plans to complement?
Yes, there are a lot of modular refineries, that are also coming on stream. As I became minister, I've signed a couple of licenses for modular refineries to be established. Some of them 30,000 barrels a day, some of them 50,000 barrels, some of them 10,000 barrels. From the statistics available to me, cumulatively, if you combine those ones together with the 3 refineries owned by federal government, together with Dangote Refinery, there will be a total capacity of about 1.1 million barrels
Okay.
a day. If that is fully completed, we may not need to import any refined petroleum products.
Honorable Minister, we have completely run out of time. We're going to continue this conversation. I'm sure you will come again.
Anytime.
By the way, I hope you
pleasure.
passed on your scorecard for the first year, or is your first 9 months. How did you fare?
Well,
Or
you
they
know,
have not marked your paper.
I think that Nigerians should be the judge.
Okay.
I believe that if we met a production of 1 million barrels and we have increased it to 1.5, we've increased production by 50%.
The thing is that you're not going to
Nigerians.
mark this paper yourself.
But it's my duty to tell Nigerians the facts.
Minister
that I
for
control.
Petroleum Resources on Aine Kilokobiri. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
My pleasure.
It's always a delight to speak with you.
Indeed. That's our show today, everyone.